Have you ever been in a situation when you're watching videos on YouTube and YouTube plays the next video on your mind? And you're like, how come YouTube knows what I want to watch next? Do you know how these recommendations are made? They are made based on vector databases. YouTube heavily relies on vector databases to search, to provide recommendations, and for content moderation. In fact, Netflix, Amazon, Facebook, they're all using vector databases. Now, the $1,000,000 question, what is this vector database? What are vectors? Well, that's what I'm going to tell you in this video, so let's get started. In AI and machine learning, a vector is a numerical representation of data in a multidimensional space. It is used to create meanings, patterns, or relationships between different pieces of data, making it easier for AI models to process and compare information. But you might be wondering, why do we have to use vectors in the first place? That's because AI models do not understand text, words, audio, video, images. They only understand numbers. And that's why all this data has to be converted into vectors, which allow them to compare, search, and analyze data effectively. Vectors enable AI to find similar items, which can be similar words, similar images, or even similar user preferences. When we talk about natural language processing, the language that you and I use to communicate, AI models are working on something called as word embedding. Word embeddings represent words as vectors, specifically as numeric vectors, in a way that captures the semantic relationships and contextual information. So that means words with similar meanings are positioned close to each other, and the distance and direction between vectors signify the degree of similarity between words. Let's take a few examples. As you see on the screen, we have some words along with some numerical representation creating a unique vector for each word. And these values represent the word's position in a continuous three-dimensional vector space. If you look closely, you'll find a pattern. You can see that words with similar meanings or context have similar vector representations. Example, vectors for strawberry and raspberry are close together, reflecting their semantic relationship. The vectors for upwards and downwards have opposite directions, indicating their contrasting meanings. Now, in real life, it's not that simple. A corpus of just 4 words will not be helpful in practice, and actual word embeddings have hundreds of dimensions to capture more intricate relationships and nuances in meanings. But this was just to explain the principle behind it. There are a few popular embedding models for text. One is Word2Vec. This is one of the most popular models, which was developed by Google in 2013. It learns word meanings based on context. Second one is GLOW, which was introduced by Stanford, and it uses word co-occurrence in large datasets. Third one is FastText. It was developed by Facebook and it handles sub-word information for rare words. And BERT, again developed by Google, looks for context-aware embeddings. For example, bank has 2 different meanings depending on the context. One meaning is go deposit money in the bank, and the other one is sitting beside the river bank. Now, let's talk about how word embeddings can improve recommendations for platforms like YouTube and Netflix. Word embeddings help find similar content based on user preferences. Instead of relying only on exact matches like traditional keyword-based search, embeddings allow semantic understanding of user behavior, leading to personalized and more relevant recommendations. These recommendations could be content-based, user-based, or a combination of both. Let's take a look at content-based recommendations first. If you watch sci-fi movie, word embeddings help you find similar movies based on their descriptions, genres, and user reviews. AI models convert movie titles, plots, and user preferences into vector representations. The system then finds the nearest vectors, which means the most similar movies, using cosine similarity or other distance matrix. For example, see the following vectors based on the movie names. If a user watches Inception, the system finds the closest vector, which is Interstellar. Since Avengers and Titanic are far away, they are less relevant recommendations. Next one is the user-based recommendations, which is based on finding similar users. You might have seen Netflix saying, people who watched X also watch this, and then gives you a recommendation. Instead of matching items, word embeddings can match users with similar tastes. The system embeds user behaviors like watch history, purchase history, likes, etc. as vectors. If 2 users have similar vectors, they get recommendations based on each other's interests. Here, in this table, since Nikki and Shyam have close vectors, Shyam might get Inception recommended. Radha, who likes superhero movies, will get Iron Man-like recommendations instead. The third type of recommendation is combining both the techniques. For example, if you watch Inception, Netflix might recommend Interstellar based on content similarity. If people with a similar watch history as you have watched Blade Runner 2049, you will also get that as a recommendation based on user-based similarity. The recommendation engine finds similar vectors using certain parameters like how close they are, what is the shortest path between two vectors, etc. Like we discussed, these word embeddings can be used to generate recommendations on YouTube and Netflix. But they don't just use word embeddings, they use something more. They use multimodal embeddings, which means video embeddings like trailers, visuals, and scenes, audio embeddings like spoken words and background music, and user embeddings like watch history, interactions, or preferences. So let's understand what is a video embedding. A video embedding is a vector or a set of numbers that represent videos in a meaningful way that AI models can understand. Instead of treating videos as raw files, these video embeddings include visual content such as scenes, colors, objects, and faces, audio content like speech and background music, text content, which can be captions, metadata, and comments, and temporal structure, which means how frames change over time. These features are compressed into a single vector representation, making it easier for the AI models to compare, search, and recommend the videos. Now let's try to understand how video embeddings are created. To generate video embedding, AI models extract key features from different components of a video. First, a video is split into frames. Then each frame is passed through a CNN, convolutional neural network. These models extract features like objects, colors, and scenes and converts them into a vector. Example, a scene with a man running on a treadmill will have this vector, and a scene with man running in a park will have this kind of a vector. Similar scenes get similar embeddings, helping YouTube and Netflix recommend visually similar videos. Then comes audio embeddings, in which the video's audio is converted into text. Using ASR, automatic speech recognition, different parameters like speech tone, music genre, and background sounds are analyzed. For example, a motivational talk might have an embedding like this, and a hip-hop song might be something like this. Third aspect is word embeddings like captions, titles, etc., which we have already covered earlier in this video. Hope this video helped you understand how vectors work in the field of AI. If you want to learn how natural language processing works, watch this video I made earlier. If you like the video, please subscribe for more such content. I'll see you in the next one. Until then, take care and bye-bye.